Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now guys, have you ever had an instance when you thought you'd turn off a tap and then suddenly when you are in a restive state, you suddenly start to hear the sound drip 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 drip? So it is that drip drip effect that Malam Buhari and his cabal are stealthily using to try to manifest this their Fulanization agenda, which of course we know is the broader agenda of this regime. So with that guys, I bring you this: PFN rejects new marriage certificate law. So that's the headline. PFN rejects new marriage certificate law. So now let's see now what manner of magic tricks the cabal have in store for us this time around. Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, PFN, has kicked against the newly introduced marriage certificate law by the federal government and chided the Ministry of Interior of imposing such an anti-Christian law on the church. National President of the Fellowship, Reverend Dr. Felix Omobude, who disclosed this in Benin in a statement, described the policy as exploitative and an attempt to commercialize Christian marriages in the country. Recall that the federal government, through the Ministry of Interior, recently announced a compulsory 30,000 naira charge license for Christian worship centers for the conduct of statutory marriages in churches and 21,000 naira for each marriage certificate. Omobude said, "This is very unfair, and to the best of our understanding, the new law is targeted at the church because the traditional and Islamic weddings are exempt from paying the new certificate fees." So let's just pause there for a moment and just reflect and muse on that. Let's marinate that comment for a moment. So this is a law now, specifically according to this article, that is targeted at a particular religion in what purports to be a multifaceted, multi-ethnic, multi-religious state. So Nigeria has no national religion officially, of course, but then unofficially we all know how the Nigerian government and the Nigerian state weighs, now to the point now that a law is specifically towards a particular religion. How this is justified or justifiable is beyond me, and I'm sure there's an explanation for this. Perhaps this guy has misinterpreted it, but as it stands, and going off the back of what this president of some Christian body is saying, this law, let me read that again, just that caption. Let me pick it up from here. The new law is targeted against the church because traditional and Islamic weddings are exempt from paying the new certificate fees. Almost unbelievable, and I find that difficult to believe, but then we carry on. PFN is at a loss as to why church marriages should be in the exclusive list of the nation's constitution. The PFN therefore calls on the federal government to immediately shelve the unpopular policy targeted against Christian marriages in the country. If the Ministry of Interior is in dire need of funds, it should look elsewhere and resist the temptation of placing extra financial burdens on the Christians and their churches. Reverend Omobude further stated that the PFN would use all legitimate means to make the federal government to rescind on the new marriage certificate law. So now this is a story coming from Vanguard, which is stated, satiated, and traditional. This is one of the conservative media outfits in the country. So of course, we have to give it some credence, but really it's quite alarming if this is the case, of course, to the point of disbelief, because I struggle to believe that this would actually be true. But then, of course, as we always say, the unfathomable is norm in the Nigerian space. So to get married as a Christian now, the government now has a specific policy for that, and that specific policy, as though marriages and weddings are not expensive enough, they're now putting a surcharge of 51,000 naira effectively on you, and will be tied if you don't pay. You get showered or something. Conversations in the comment section. So drip 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 drip, the drip drip effect, as we said. So now, according to this article, allegedly, apparently, as a Christian now, there's a surcharge of 51,000 naira for you to get married. This is now the new policy, according to Malam Buhari and his regime. I think the guy in charge of the Ministry of Interior is probably a Yoruba man, but whoever or whatever this guy is certainly not doing it outside of the instructions of his leader and the cabal. Come share thoughts about all this with me in the comment section. So click on subscribe and the bell notification, and then come tell me what your thoughts are in the comment section. So I'll leave you here, carry on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.